Never ever left that show. And his love and respect for
Mute yourself.
was something incredible. Lastly, we all know him as the Rav for Schultz, and to many of you and us, I'm sure, aside being a Rav, he was my age, but he's probably also like yours age. And the thing that gave him the most pleasure in life was learning. His love of learning, of just sitting in his library and learning Torah by himself was one of his greatest joys in life. But beyond that, what gave him greater joy was seeing other people learning. Specifically, specifically his children and grandchildren. And he used to always say that whenever he had a child, he would go out to the firm of Learfield, and Learfield. And one of his favorite ones was Chotam Masholas Lo Behavior Nothing. That a three-pronged rope, or something, a rope that's tied up with three strands, doesn't rip quickly. And that's something that I think he had the supposed to have, where all of his children, aside from being successful whenever they are and incredible in the Torah, are also all have smicha, and I know that that gave him tremendous amount of simcha, tremendous amount of navas. And then when his grandchildren followed in that path and stayed within learning and that's made Torah, that gave him a tremendous peace, tremendous amount of simcha, nafas, and that's something that the Torah, and that's put from the shoulders that we have from Satan. Rivers will continue on. I'd like to ask my brother-in-law, Yehuda, to come up and say some words.
YouTube stream.
Ever since I can remember, my Zadie and I had an unusual special connection in our relationship because if you didn't know, I'm named for his father. He was a lady. I don't know where I would be without my grandfather. Every Shabbat, we would walk to shoulder back together. We would always have the most intelligent things to say. And I was praying my mitzvah, despite the surgery and everything else he was dealing with, he would walk over to my house every single night and remember me. Eventually, we both got older, I started to go to his house down there. And that's when I got to see the red of their fields. And most people never knew about. We could be deeply in the middle of the sugya, whatever it was, and somebody would knock on the door or call them, and no matter how insignificant that person's needs would be, he would immediately stop everything he was doing, have the most genuine, engaged conversation with them. I've been privy to some very unusual conversations from a very young age. famous author once said, it's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get up. Every single day for many, many years, until he was literally physically unable to move, he insisted on walking to shore. When passersby would offer him a ride, even in the rain, he refused. I think he relished the spark he got by each step of the way to shore. A very important lesson I learned from Isaiah is he never accepted an excuse. He himself never offered an excuse. And I mean never. He dedicated his life to try to get it. He was a true puppy in the subject. The night before a very big surgery, a couple of years ago, a young couple in distress knocked on the door that night. We were all quick to dismiss them. My grandfather was fallen that morning. He was injured, and the surgery was early. I can't remember that night. The surgery was early that morning. The next morning. He ended up sitting with that couple for hours of the deliberation back and forth. And I think they reconciled. He had such a genuine alas of real. Consider each person's problems as if they were his own. We are now in the period of Sierra Somer. Someone who epitomizes me to hug away from the mother was my baby. He treated everyone as he would have wanted to be treated. This last year and a quarter was a very difficult time for our family. I'm so grateful to everybody who did so much for my grandfather, whether it was my parents who spent 24/7 all day, every single day, dealing with the day-to-day issues at hand, the healthcare workers, most of which are here right now, that was a Rohan, my siblings, my aunts, uncles, cousins, everyone came to visit week after week. I think I can count the days that my puppy has been alone since 1 year ago to do this on one hand. Through all the challenges we faced through this last year, it was a time where we all bonded together. The beautiful Kabbalah Shabbos we had every week, the fellow citizens, the Havdalas, we sang so beautifully, and you can close your eyes tightly and imagine. My grandfather was drifting into another world and touching the music with his hands in the air. The hymn was the most beautiful symphony. This went on for months and months. I also had the most unique opportunity to talk with him 3 times a day. Since we were recording so often, I was available to go there every single day. Like Jeffrey put on the film Shal Roach, we couldn't do the Shal Yad because there was several reasons. I was inspired at how much the human body can take. I still serve Hashem with such dedication and devotion. I wanted to thank Yaakov Fried for taking my place and dogging as me when I had to go back to Cuba. My family thanks you for the joy you brought to the room week after week. A couple months ago, I came over to him and had a conversation. He was non-verbal, so it was hard for him to communicate so well. But when he wanted to make something understood, nothing stood in his way. I went over to him and I simply said, going forward, what do you want? And he replied, I want this all to stop. Thinking, okay, obviously you want this all to stop. And he said, the reason I want this all to stop is because I'm causing too much stress and aggravation to everybody. Do you hear that? He lived his entire life never wanting to be inconvenienced to anybody. Never wanting to be Montreal, anyone. And I mean never. He never spoke about his discomfort, the terrible pain. He was in the misery of lying in bed day after day, month after month for a year. All he talked about was whether or not he was being Montreal people. It's learned a great deal, great lesson from my reading. For your Rob, the Lord also, he walked gently through this world, as he was supposed to, at Navy Hashem, learning Yom Delilah.
Never ever left that show. And his love and respect for
Mute
her
yourself.
was something incredible. Lastly, we all know him as the Rav for Shoal. And to many of you and us, I'm sure, aside from being a Rav, he was my Zidi, but he's probably also like your Zidi. And the thing that gave him the most pleasure in life was learning. His love of learning, just sitting in his library and learning Torah by himself was one of his great